Welcome in, everybody, to Extreme Radio, presented by GracePointe Healthcare. Go to GracePointeHealthcare.com. That you're with 8-Man Extreme when you request your appointment online. You get $20 off your new patient office visit fee. GracePointe Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. The show is also sponsored by Dr. Sterling Foster. Go to drsterlingfoster.com for all of your digestive issues and chiropractic needs.
And as I was wow, we are hot today.
Your voice is a little bit crackly today.
We are hot today. We're talking about some hot takes.
Oh yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Are we good? I can barely hear you.
I can hear you.
You gotta turn mine up. There we go. All right. As I was wow.
That's what happens when you turn it up excessively.
That's loud.
Anyway.
As I was chowing down on about 20 seconds before we went live, we're also presented by Jets Pizza. Got the old 2 4-square pizzas, little pepperoni.
It's called the 8-corner pizza, James.
Whatever it's called. I call it delicious, is what I call it.
It's good, yeah.
Wherever you are, specifically, if you're in Springfield or Clarksville, Fort Campbell area, definitely hit them up. But no matter where you are, it's always a great time and a great place and a great situation to say, let's get Jets.
Yeah, you've never had Old World pepperoni. You've never had the bold. Theirs is.
I opened the box.
Pepperoni.
I opened the box and I was like, "Why is our pepperoni shriveled?"
Yeah, that's called Old World, or in their case, bold pepperoni.
I'm not a fan.
You don't like the bold pepperonis much?
Nope.
I love it. It's great.
Nope.
I mean, classic pepperoni is great, but the Old World, it has a more like smoky flavor to it.
No, I'm good.
But that's
classic.
It's not Jet's fault that I chose that for the pizza topping today.
You gotta love the classics like Under Armour.
I don't know if Under Armour is a classic
Under
at this
Armour
point.
is a classic.
It's a classic
sir.
to you, but it's not
Hey,
a classic
you
to
know
everybody.
What?
You know what?
Perception is reality.
Snap back to reality. Oh, it's so snappity. Welcome to Extreme Radio today, everybody.
The most bizarre entrance.
Oh, yes.
By far.
It's been a crazy day. We just got set up with everything like 20 minutes before the show.
Okay, so I'm going to pre-warn everybody, okay? If at any point I stop talking or you hear the sound of a toddler, it's bring your son to work day, and Spencer didn't qualify.
Nope.
So it's just me. I've got my boy jamming to some Octonauts, eating some Jets Pizza, because everybody, every age, loves Jets Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. So
we gotta get that sponsorship.
If I stop, it's because I'm changing the iPad to Dino Trucks or PJ Masks or whatever he's in the mood to watch.
Yep. Hey,
What happened to Mr. Rogers? The classics.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix now. It's either Netflix, Hulu, or Prime.
No.
It's somewhere.
Maybe like Amazon Prime or something. It's
Yeah,
not on
you should get
Netflix.
Amazon Prime. Show it for your kiddo.
I already pay for Netflix.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Netflix originals are better than Amazon originals.
Have you ever watched The Tick?
No, because it's not as good.
You don't know that. You haven't seen it.
Oh, gosh.
Well, the Jamboree happened this past weekend. You saw all
So
our
much
social media pages.
football.
It's so many things to go over from the Jamboree.
It's literally
too.
like starving for the like 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving. Like you're like, okay, I'm just gonna wait, eat a little snack. Maybe not, maybe not fasting, but like you're like, okay, I'm gonna gear up, and then you get to Thanksgiving and you just gorge out. That's what the Jamboree is.
That's not how you do that on Thanksgiving. If you snack
That's how I do it.
for 2-3 days before, and if you snack, your stomach shrinks and it won't be able to hold as much food.
That's how I do it.
Well, I don't know how much you're eating on Thanksgiving, buddy. But
that might
you're not
be-
at full capacity.
That might be true though, because like I could barely contain all of last night's football. I had to go back and rewatch some of the games. Just so much football. A lot of
Yeah.
great people to talk to, banners to wear.
Yeah, you
There's
were
a lot of stuff to.
you were Captain 8-Man Extreme.
Hey,
last night.
listen, when you have a banner and nowhere to put it, you wear it. And
Exactly.
it worked out with the rain last night. Nice little rain.
Oh yeah, they had that
Little
weather
rain
delay
cover.
to start off. I wasn't at the second day of the Jamboree, but the first one
know.
they didn't have any. We know, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could tell by the social media posts.
Yeah.
We could tell who was posting on those, and that's James Shannon on that
True.
one. But the Jamboree itself, just so many great things that happened with that. Obviously, they had the weather delay both nights for the
Mhm.
Jamboree. Now, fortunately, the weather delay didn't come until about the third quarter of night one.
Yeah,
Then-
it was, and it wasn't even rain. It was lightning, and I don't know the distance of it, but yeah, I mean, we got to get some football in, and then last night, right off the bat, it got delayed, but it's cool
Yeah,
because then we didn't get any break. I mean, it was just straight football.
yeah.
wrong
Unfiltered
with that.
football. Nothing wrong at all. Though it was the storms came in today. Though storms are here today. Here in
Hailing.
Springfield, it started hailing in Franklin. I didn't know this because I was here at the.
He's
here
all
at the,
tucked away here in the studio.
yeah, GracePointe
Nice and
Healthcare Studios.
cozy. I'm traversing and struggling, struggle bus, trying to run in and out of Walmart with my son in my arms, starting to hail.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we were doing, though. That's what we do to make this happen.
Yeah, we do it for you, the fans. But
I do it.
Jamboree.
I do it for Jets.
Jamboree, we do it for
Let's get
for Jets
Jets.
for sure. Yeah, let's get Jets at some point, man. That sounds like a really good idea. Which we've already completed that idea. We're getting some good
We're
Jets
doing
right
it.
now. So let's go in order of what you saw from the Jamboree, James. Of what you think are going to be good for the teams. We'll handle the host team last because they played the most and you had the most chance to see what they could potentially improve on. So we'll start with Franklin Christian. They were the first other team to play during the Jamboree.
I'll tell you about Franklin Christian, man. There's not many senior quarterbacks around the league this year, and Daniel Holcomb's one of them, and he looks like it. He has a lot of experience. Several times that he was smart. He would slide, when it was unnecessary to take a hit. Some great throws. I think he was one of the only quarterbacks. I think there were only 2 or 3 quarterbacks the whole Jamboree that didn't throw an interception. I think he was one of them. Just great throws, on the money. He struggled with injuries the last couple years, and maybe he will this year, but we'll see. I mean, he looked good last night. Of course, it's a Jamboree, but he looked good. The line's going to have a little help. They're going to have to buy. He's going to have to learn how to adapt, like he did last year, to not having Zane Quibido and Graham Harrison on his line.
Yep.
Like, if he could have that this year, it'd be
Oh yeah.
ridiculous. But he's going to have to get used to not having that.
Yeah, I even we were talking with Coach Adams in between some of the quarters, and one of the big things he mentioned as well. Was that Daniel Holcomb, he's not 100% right. Just because he had that torn ACL and such, he's trying to readjust.
You're never going to be after a torn ACL.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things I noticed especially about Holcomb is that I'm sure that it'll potentially adapt throughout the season. He's more hesitant to take runs to the outside.
Right.
He's a little bit
Well,
more
and when he
hesitant.
does, like I said, he slides. He's smart about it. He's not going to take a hit next to the sideline for a 3-yard gain. He knows that. He's adapted to that. And that's what you're going to have to do. That's what he's going to have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Kid timeout.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Good stuff from that. James did give the preemptive warning about his kiddo being in studio, so he just had to give him some more pizza, help him out there. But yet, James didn't hear the part of use. They didn't hear what you said there, James. It's not the recording button. Try that one more time.
This is where we could use a third guy if anyone's interested.
Yeah, if we get a third guy in studio, that would be great. That would be great. The kiddo going to look at.
Did they hear that?
No, of course they did.
Oh.
I keep turning it off and on when
Looks
he's
like
talking
the
to
kid's
you, man.
gonna look at fishes. You gonna look at fish? You gonna look at the what's the fish's name? Nemo.
Oh yeah,
Dory.
he's going to look at Nemo.
Looks like anyways.
Occupied.
I'll tell you who else I like from FCA. I like Zach Dooley.
Oh yeah, Dooley was
Zach
great.
Dooley made some plays last night, or Friday night rather, and he's only a sophomore, but he played really well, and he's going to have to be a good target for Holcomb.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good target for him.
With the line struggling, Holcomb's going to have to be able to get that ball out, and Dooley's one of those guys that's going to be able to help him with that.
Yeah, Holcomb has some targets throughout the season. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes with that.
And let me back up and say this too, okay? So I'm going to point out some guys that I saw that I noticed during the Jamboree, and kid timeout.
Yeah, quick kid timeout there. He's talking to his kiddo. But yeah, he's going to talk about some other guys from the Jamboree that he saw and different things along those lines, and we'll continue to go through it. And as we said, Christian community we will handle afterwards.
He wanted some of those sweet cinnamon sticks.
Oh yeah,
that's what he wanted.
Yeah, those cinnamon sticks from Jets are
They're
great.
good. They're good.
I have not found anything that I don't like at Jets Pizza. Now, you in your case, you don't like the bold pepperoni, but that's not Jets' fault.
But that's not Jets' fault.
Yeah.
That's a personal choice. That's like, pineapple not belonging on pizza. But anyways. No. Okay, so let me say this. I'm going to point out some guys that I saw in the Jamboree that I was like, oh, they made a play. They made a couple plays here. I like what they did. This is not to say that that everyone else on every team that I don't mention was just completely awful. That is not it at all.
Of course.
I was a second string bench warmer when I played. I got 2 starts.
He kept that bench warm, that's for sure.
I did. I got 2 and that's impressive when there's no bench. I got 2 starts because the people ahead of me had suspensions and injuries.
No bench at all.
There were 2 games I didn't play in at all, and I got so much garbage time, I thought I was going to become a trash man. So I'm one of those guys that would not have gotten mentioned in 2011 if there was someone like this doing this, talking about who they were impressed with. So let's get that out of the way, first off. Second off, you know what? If your name doesn't get mentioned, use it as a bulletin board or a chip on your shoulder and say, you know what? Next year, I want to be a guy mentioned. Yeah, I mean, dudes pop up all the time. All the time. Guys constantly showing up.
No, the good news is we'll see you once, maybe twice in the season because of our broadcast schedule. So use that time when we come
and we're going to hear about you throughout the year. We're going to see you on film. We're going to see your stats. We're going to think you're ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, so
get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's what you saw with FCA. Next, we go on to one of the teams that people plenty accuse you of being biased for, but you take it and you leave it. The Tennessee Heat.
Whatever. All right. There's a kid that he was one of the leaders in sacks in the league last year as a freshman. Big old country boy. Kid named Carter Sutton. I love the way that Carter Sutton plays. And not just on defense. He made some crazy catches because they moved him to tight end, wide receiver, whatever. He made some crazy catches. And then he also, there was one time them and FCA were playing, and he laid out of it. He did a great job going low. He didn't go high for the helmet area. He went low. He hit him right at the waist, and the kid got the wind knocked out of him. He's just got some raw power behind him. And he's only a sophomore. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. Another kid, Aiden, I'm going to butcher this name. I know it. Aiden Lutchfield. Luchfield.
However the pronunciation is.
Okay, somewhere in there.
They'll correct us at the end of the season, like
Pretty
the
much.
last game that we broadcast for him.
Pretty much. I think he's a freshman or a sophomore, and he's just he was able to run the ball last night. He made some catches. He made some defensive plays. No, I'm not getting choked up about him. It's this pepperoni getting stuck in my throat. He was able to make some plays, And I really like what he was able to do last night on Friday night. I keep saying last night. I was there last night. A lot of great football. I like what he was able to do. But let's see what you could definitely tell that Kelton Copeland was not there. They were missing that aspect of their run game. I think if he's able to come back, and he does come back, I think that'll just boost them a lot. He was an 8th grader last year. He's a freshman this year, Luckfield. He's only getting better. I mean, it's Deuce Bragg all over again, just at a different position. So the fact that these 8th graders, and you can say, well, that means that, the high school players are terrible around here.
Right.
You can say what you want. That just means we got some great 8th graders. There's some great 8th graders coming up through the system. So, but I really like the way that those two kids played for the Heat.
That was what I was going to say about the Tennessee Heat. They've got their guys returning back who are doing well. But especially one of the comments that I heard just around from the rest of the people we were talking to at the Jamboree, the Tennessee Heat have grown from last year, from going from 4th place, losing the consolation game. They're looking like a force to potentially be reckoned with in the MTAC North.
They got some big dudes. They got a 6'2", like 215 freshman. Of course, you got Ty Whitaker, who they've used at slot receiver, running back, quarterback. If they ever put him on the line, he'll be fine on the line, but they don't need him because they've got Elijah Diaz. They've got Ross Scott. They've got this 6'2" freshman. Their line is kid break.
Going to talk about their line and handle all that kind of stuff.
Good?
Yeah.
He needs more Jets pizza. I'm going to hook him up with a cinnamon stick.
Get him some more cinnamon sticks over there. I'm telling you, man, this is great. This is just natural. This is just natural.
Everybody loves Jets,
here.
bro.
Yeah, right here, this is just natural sponsorship that we can easily give, because
we're not even trying to sell a sponsorship.
Exactly, it's just the kid wants it.
It's the
kid
facts.
Kid tested and kid approved.
Yeah, for real.
But you were saying about the line for Tennessee Heat.
Yeah, I mean they've got guys on the line, and they can plug Ty Whitaker in if they need to, But I don't see them. They can plug Carter Sutton in if they need to. I don't see them need to do that. Injuries, of course, happen, but their line is set right now. Elijah Diaz is a veteran. Yeah, you got a new kid at right guard. Ross Scott played last year at center. I really didn't see that many bad snaps for the Heat. So he's got the snapping under control. So now, and he's a big guy, so he can handle some of those big nose tackles that are going to be coming up the middle. And like I said, and you can chip and you can move and you can help with that. If you need to move Ty Whitaker in, he can chip a little bit and then go. There's just so many things they can do. He's got Coach Scott has got a lot of toys at his disposal, and he's just if he can just coordinate and manage them correctly, we could have some. They could have some issues on their hands.
They very much could. Next team,
their opponents,
for sure. Next team that had their first 8-man football play ever, and that we managed to capture on our Instagram, is Zell Harding. How do you feel about them after your pre-Jamboree predictions after the Jamboree?
I feel great about it. Let's back up. Their starting quarterback did not play Friday night.
He did not.
The joke was
it was his birthday, I think, so they gave him the resting.
Well,
day, right?
no, he had some other stuff going on. The birthday was a joke, but so he sat out. Derek Griffin, great quarterback. Mm-hmm. So they didn't. So they played their backup. But number 4, Braxton Coleman, was a guy that really jumped out to me. He had a couple rushing touchdowns. I mean, he's a bruiser back. And let me back up. When Ezell and the Heat played, Aiden Lutchfield, he gave up a fumble on a toss sweep. The very next play, they give the ball to Braxton Coleman. Lutchfield's out at corner. He jets in. No pun intended, really, for real.
He
jets in and stops Coleman. And it wasn't that Coleman didn't have a great run, but, it's not like, he just stopped him. Of course, he was able to tackle him, and, but he didn't, stop him.
Right.
He stopped him. So, but Coleman, man, I mean, and he made Carter Sutton miss. I mean, that Ezell Harding, Tennessee, I legit am so sad that these two don't play this year. I would love a game between these two. I would die for a game between these two. But Braxton Coleman just
Maybe we'll see him in the playoffs.
if they could play it, with my prediction, I mean I've got to make the playoffs. So
Would they face off against each other in the?
Well, now I gotta look at my predictions and I gotta measure them. Okay, so here we go. 2019. All right, so let's see. South Haven will get a first round bye. Tennessee, Tennessee. So Ezel Harding would play Tennessee Heat at Tennessee Heat.
Ooh, so that might be.
I
If your
mean-
predictions are correct, then we might see that later on. Just
Sorry.
busted the microphone
Sorry,
there.
hang on.
Why do you think I have my amp turned down?
Let me try that again.
There you go.
That would be a great game.
Yeah, it would be a fantastic game.
I'll tell you somebody else I liked from Ezel, kid named Adam Klingenberg. Klingenberg. You want to say Klingenberger, but it's not. It's Klingenberg. Had a great interception of Brandon Goolsby rather. Had a couple catches. I really, really liked what he was able to do last night. That's another guy that they could plug. And Ezel's line looked, for that being their first ever 8-man contest, full on, not a scrimmage, not a 7-on-7, full on, looked pretty halfway decent. So we'll see what Coach McGee cooks up.
Yeah, perfect time for you to take a kid break.
Kid
there,
break.
James. So it's like
a dance break.
So
he was just looking at fishes chowing down on his jets.
yeah, I'm telling you, man, our other spots. I mean, you know what? Just to make it fair, with this Jets Pizza, I may need Dr. Sterling Foster for some digestive issues after this, because Jets Pizza, it's good deep dish.
Might.
Yeah, it's good deep dish, man.
I can handle my jets.
Might need
my
some
Jets.
Foster to do some treatments or adjustments.
No kidding.
Who knows? Next team, Bowling Green Christian Academy. What are you seeing from them?
Well, let me say this: the second best player in the league did not disappoint. Gage Holman is a rock star, straight up rock star. They played CCS early on, the first game of the Jamboree, and I mean it was Gage Holman versus Brooks Pugh. Brooks Pugh caught a 20-yard pass, beat Gage Holman. Great throw by Micah Jones. There was nothing Gage could do about it. Then Gage breaks up a pass against Pugh. Then he picks off Jones in the end zone against Pugh. The ball was a little underthrown by Jones, so it wasn't really Pugh's fault. He could have come back for it, but anyways, tit for tat. Gage Holman's a rock star. He's got speed. He's going to be your lockdown corner this year. No question. He is going to be your guy that you say, okay, here's the roster. We're going to circle their number one receiver. Gage is on him all night, every night. You better hope you've got two good receivers, because if not, your passing game is going to be worth diddly.
I didn't have a chance to go to the Jamboree on Saturday, but this gets a little bit previewing into our schedule later on, which sorry to preview this early, but Bowling Green FCS got moved to Saturday because FCS, I believe, has a school thing on Friday night.
Yeah.
So they moved that to Saturday. So we'll announce which game we're doing, but
would you like another Jet cinnamon stick?
It's one of the just asking the kiddo again.
No.
No,
He's stuffed.
yeah.
It's very filling.
Yeah, for sure. But I'll just go ahead and say it. We were going to do Bowling Green FCS, but we're not able to do that because what we try to do every season is cover every team twice. And if we were to stick with Bowling Green FCS, we wouldn't be able to cover a certain team twice that we're broadcasting on Saturday night. So we're hoping. So we'll of course see. We'll of course see Gage Holman later on in the season with some broadcasts we have planned. But it's a real shame we can't see Gage Holman, who you predicted. Yeah, who you predicted the number 1 and number 2 players in the league, as you predicted. It's a shame we won't be able to see them later on.
Well, we can watch the film.
We'll watch the film. I'm just saying we won't be able to see it firsthand. That's a great game to call, though. It's one of those great games to call.
Do you want more cinnamon sticks? Yes? Yeah. I figured he was going to go for another one.
For sure. So next team we get into is the team that was third place last year, won the consolation game that's now defunct, and with them in their second year ever of 8-man football history, Lancaster Christian Academy. How is the freshman Deuce Bragg doing under center now, and what else did you see from that play?
Well, I mean, he's Deuce Bragg.
That is true. He's Deuce Bragg.
Deuce Bragg.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he was good. Obviously, just trying to shake some of the rust off. But no, he was fine. The defense was great. They picked off. Of course, Bowling Green ran Gage Holman at quarterback when those two teams played. They picked Gage off twice. The line, it held. It's going to have some work. But the Moore brothers, Isaiah and Elijah, man, just incredible ball players. I think they're going to be fine with that. Another kid, T.J. Robbins, was really good too. But I think they're going to be just fine. Obviously, you can't replace Matt Bowden, but you can reload, and I think they've reloaded and they'll be all right.
Yeah, and one of the big things that we were talking about with Coach Bragg in between the Jamboree and such is that Deuce has grown through the off season. He's really grown. Not only that, but he's been hitting the weight room throughout the summer. So
he also trimmed an inch of his hair off.
Oh yeah,
which is nothing when you see his hair.
Yeah, now that part is just a shame for aesthetic purposes, man. Because I remember last year under center, you have those locks coming out of the helmet and such.
I'm waiting to see who the first guy to grab that hair is going to be, though.
I mean,
it's legal.
Yeah, that is true.
It's
illegal to grab the hair until they put it in the rule book, but who knows? That's maybe why he cut it short enough.
Yeah, they're going to have to put it in the NFHS rule book.
I'm sure they would.
And change it for all high schools across America.
Which they'd be fine with. I mean,
that's not happening because of one freshman at Lancaster Christian.
There might have been other cases in the past, and they just haven't had anything to put it over.
There would have to be quite a few cases.
That's true. But Lancaster, it's going to be interesting to see how they go with. Okay, so Franklin Classical School dropped out of the Jamboree, so we can't really say anything on
just
them.
Just an injury issue.
Yeah, they decided that it was the amount of injuries that they've had over the last few years. It was more important. For them to just rest up.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, 3 years ago in the Lighthouse Jamboree,
it was Cole
Warren broke his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so
season ending.
Yeah, and he was going to have a great junior year. He had a fantastic sophomore year, and he was set to have a great junior year. Broke his leg, that derailed him, and then just senior year he just couldn't get right. And so, you weigh out the risks and the rewards, and if that doesn't match up, if you got 12 guys on your roster, you can't afford to lose one, let alone your starting quarterback. So
yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. I mean, sometimes you just can't do it.
Yeah, it's a shame in that regard. But we'll see. We'll see Classical how they perform later on in the season. We'll definitely probably have a game or two scheduled for them. Who knows? We had one game on Friday, but they had to delay that, of course. Now, next, the 2017 MTAC champions. That was the last game they were victorious in. Was the MTAC championship against Christian Community. Still, as you've said plenty of times, best championship you've seen throughout MTAC history. They are looking for
Which
their
one?
2017.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
They're looking for their first win since that day in November of 2017. Is it looking like this year they're going to be a lot better than they were last year?
Oh yeah. As much as I love
good sign.
Franklin Christian Academy, I just talked about them. I love what they've got. Their line has to have work. And when you're facing a line for South Haven Christian that has Elijah Ashley and Estevan Covington, who was able to come back from a broken leg 2 months ago. He's back. He healed in 2 months.
It's crazy.
When you have a line like that backed up with Emmanuel Dang at DB and wide receiver, he's your guy that's going to shut down Dooley. Dang, maybe not shut down. He could shut down. But I just think all around, I think that they're going to be just fine. I feel great about my predictions for the year. I feel fantastic.
That wasn't the question, but that's fine.
There's a couple teams I might be a couple wins off, but I mean, I was pretty good last year.
I mean, that wasn't the question. Was not how confident you feel with your predictions. The question was, is South Haven going to do a lot better than they did last year?
I answered it. Yeah.
Which you did answer it. You just
did answer it.
You went into your predictions, man.
It was a long.
It was a long. Yep, exactly. So now we go to the host team, defending MTAC champions for 2018, Christian Community School.
This is not the same team that went undefeated regular season
2 years in a row.
won playoffs won championship. This is not the same team from last year.
And a national championship in 2017.
And a national championship. Well, it still wasn't the same team as that year. This is not the same team by any stretch of imaginations. Brooks Pugh is one of the best receivers in the league, hands down. It's going to take someone like Gage Holman to shut him down. If you're trying to take on Brooks Pugh with a second year, say a second year junior who's had about 5 games of experience, you're going to give up 3 or 4 touchdowns to him every night. Just facts. But it's just not the same team. I love Avery Harper. Between him playing defensive end and he's gotten some carries at running back, it's going to be a running back by committee thing. I did not see Derek Jefferson there last night. This is what I'm going to say about this. I didn't see Derek Jefferson there last night. There's talk that he's going to play. If he plays, whatever. A lot of people saw that he wasn't at school last semester. I don't know the situation. I'm not going to get into the situation. That's not my business. That's not my place. I don't have the time. I got a busy enough life. I got a 3 and a 4-year-old and a wife. Not my place to get into all that.
This is sounding like extreme talk. This is sounding like extreme talk just a little bit.
I talked about it on Extreme Talk, which is going to have some great interviews, by the way.
Yeah, it is coming back.
Starting next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Bam.
Going to be good.
Going to bring it back. Anyways, it's going to be a running back by committee thing. And I think the defense will be all right. I think it'll be all right. I think Micah Jones is still a great defensive back. Obviously, he's going to have work at quarterback. They've got a good backup quarterback. But they're going to have work, work all around. And they've got a great coaching staff. Of course, losing Daniel Meek, you don't like that. No one likes something like that.
Nope.
But they're going to be fine. I feel good about my predictions. I think they'll still end up, making the playoffs. I don't think they'll do well in the playoffs, but I do think they'll make the playoffs.
Which round do you think they lose in, first or second?
First.
You think they don't get a first round bye?
Well, look at my predictions. You got Christian Community and Riverside. Christian Community.
We didn't see Riverside play in the Jamboree, though.
But we know what they've had. They only lost John Trahan.
And perfect kid break. Sweet. So, James, hot take there.
My son is now on his 3rd cinnamon stick, which means he will fall asleep on the way home, which I am down with 100%. I'm cool with it. Got an hour drive home. Anyways.
That's a lot of cinnamon sticks for a kid.
You know what? We got a lot of cinnamon. He's my son.
Exactly.
He's my son. I was called the human garbage disposal growing up, so yeah, no kidding.
Maybe he picked up the good genes in that regard.
Yeah, Well, the good genes came from his mom, but anyways,
look
came from me. He has good looks, and those came from me. So
they came from a mixture of both.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, so
they lose in the first round.
Riverside. They lose John Trahan, and that's it.
Yeah, we haven't seen Riverside play yet in at least CCS's defense. You're going by what was that? That and also the motivation they have with Creasy coming back from fighting leukemia. I think that's I've said it on the show before. I think Riverside is going to have a lot more motivation, arguably, than any of the other teams in the league. But granted, motivation isn't the only thing that helps you win a championship.
Until some of these teams hear my predictions.
Oh, of course.
And then you'll have some motivation, but
for sure. But yeah, that's covered all the teams we saw in the Jamboree.
So much football.
Shame we didn't see FCS in it,
but I would love to see them.
Oh yeah, we would love to see all the teams in the Jamboree if they could have.
But all the teams. We'll have to keep an eye and an ear on the situation at Lighthouse Christian and Sacred Heart.
Yep.
Reports are that numbers are low. I'm optimistic that both programs will still be around. I do think both programs will be around. I think they'll get something worked out.
Yeah, as far as we're aware.
And if we put out the helmet schedule and one of the
teams
we are put out, which will come out, we're just not going to tell you when. So it's a surprise. It's Christmas in August, but
there's that Christmas in July thing. But now you moved it to August.
It's in August. But
can we just talk about something a little bit derailed here? It's August. It's already August this year.
I know, it didn't come fast enough.
What? This year went by fast for me.
Did not come fast enough.
Okay, it didn't come fast enough for you, but it was fast enough for me.
Well, that's fine. You got to turn the sound on.
Yeah, you're getting us lubed back, man.
All right.
We don't have to. You just want to.
Anyways, so
helmet schedule should release sometime.
And like I said, if those two teams ended up not having teams, just mark them on your helmet schedule.
Then just keep in mind
mark the games out.
Just keep in mind it's extra bye weeks for the other teams.
A lot of bye weeks this week.
Imagine if
this year, if both teams back out, a lot of bye weeks.
Well, not just that, but but with two of those teams backing out, it's 4 teams in the North.
Yeah.
Which that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know what.
Well, one team's not going to make the playoffs, Spencer.
Only one team.
That's how it's going to work.
Well, no, I'm talking about that, but I mean, I don't know how that's going to work per se with balance in the conference.
Just have to back up 10 yards or repunt.
You think they move
February?
You think they move Lancaster to the north?
No,
because they're right next to Lighthouse.
Just because you don't have a team this year doesn't mean you're not going to have a team next year.
No, I know that, but in the circumstances, you think they do a temporary move Lancaster to the north? Why is Lancaster not in the MTAG North? They're in Smyrna, right? Yeah, but right close to Lighthouse, about maybe 20.
They're south of Lighthouse. No, that's not the travesty. The travesty is the fact
that
Lighthouse is on the north side of Bell Road. Ezel Harding's on the south side of Bell Road. Literally sides of the road, not ends of the road. Sides of the road. One's north, one's south. That's berserk. That's bizarre to me.
That they're in separate divisions because of that.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, again, Lancaster up in the north as well, and
Lancaster's further south than Lighthouse and Ezel. Ezel would be the one to go north.
Yeah, but you look on a map; they're just they're southeast of Nashville, but they're more north than FCA and
Ezel
FCS.
would be the one to go north.
Think they should go north?
Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't move to.
And put Sacred Heart in the south?
No.
They're more south than any of the rest of the teams.
Yeah, but then you got to move another team up.
Yeah, Ezel. Swap that.
Okay, you move Ezel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have 5 in the north, 5 in the south. Bam, cut and dry.
That's it. That's if Lighthouse drops out.
Yeah.
But you're saying 2 teams might drop out.
I'm saying if both teams drop out and never bring their football program back, which will not happen.
No, I'm sure they'll be back next year.
Bam. Now next year, if my predictions are correct, I think you end up having 5 teams in the north and 6 in the south.
Who's the other team that comes in again?
I have called it all season.
Zion.
I will stay by it. Zion Christian Columbia. I think they need to look at 8-man. I think they need to take a hard look at 8-man.
Whoever's the athletic director, if you're listening to this.
He's not listening, but hey, let's blow up his email.
You already do that every year.
Pretty much.
Sending them emails saying, "Hey, have you considered 8-man football?"
You know what? You gotta keep it in their head.
Providence, they were going to do 8-man football this year, but
I'll tell you what needs to happen. Providence and Lighthouse need to co-op.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Last year, Providence co-opted with Mount Juliet Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So you're driving from Murfreesboro to Mount Juliet when you could drive from Murfreesboro to Antioch.
Which is a lot shorter distance.
Yeah. It's insane. Anyway.
A lot shorter. Helmet schedule will release sometime. Not going to tell you when, but it'll release sometime. The only thing that makes me upset about this, we have it in front. I have the helmet schedule in front of us right now. The only thing that makes me upset is that from day one of the show for the last 2 years, I've said to you all, follow along on your helmet schedules. And James here didn't want to release it this past week.
Fine, put it up on the screen.
I don't have the PDF downloaded. Looks like I have to quickly go ahead and download it to put it up on the screen for everyone to look at.
Put it out there. So fine.
Let me
put it up on the screen. Now, it'll be on social media tomorrow.
Let me see if I could actually get this
fine.
Up here.
We'll push it up. We will debut it right here on today's episode of Extreme Talk.
Let me see if they'll
Extreme Radio, rather.
Let me see if they'll even let me do a PDF on OBS.
You did it last year?
Did I put the helmet schedule on?
Well, you put our logo.
Yeah, I put the logo.
Do I need to send you the JPEG?
Let me see here.
I can send you the JPEG. This is literal in-show coordination right here.
This is
why we need a producer.
Let me see
if you're looking to get
okay.
Involved
Yeah, put the JPEG on Gmail because the PDF. Yeah, it's not
in a Drive there.
Yeah, Is it in Drive?
No.
Drive? Might be something like that. You get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff.
We're trying to make this happen. Just bear with us. If you're listening to this after the fact.
Yeah, if you're listening to it afterwards, you can maybe glance at the screen for just a little bit.
Or you could, well, I was going to say you could just skip this whole part right here. Bam. Done.
You're
Like
saying
I
that's a
said,
drive?
We need a producer.
We do need a producer. So where is it?
Coming now. Bam.
I'm refreshing
Headed
drive.
your way. Wait. It's being uploaded. Come on, Google. Resume now. Come on, Google. Here we go.
Google, if you're listening to this, sponsor.
For real, though.
There's the JPEG. Took you long enough.
I will mention something. Okay, I'm not calling anybody out.
Uh-oh.
Did you get it?
Yes, I did.
Cool. I'm going to mention
There
something
it is.
while you're loading it. Did you bring it up?
It is right there. Let me see if I can do.
I'm going to mention something. Wow, Spence.
Let's see.
It's a little off there.
There's
There's your helmet schedule, folks. Bam.
Stretch
By the way,
There
if
we
you're
go.
a PA announcer, do not do play-by-play while you're PA announcing. That's not your job. Your job is plays
You
over.
don't have to reference the group that we're in on Facebook and talk about that kind of stuff.
Your job is plays over. Who ran the ball? Who tackled him? How far it got? What's the down and distance? Bam. That's your job. That's it.
You're gonna make some people upset by saying
I don't
that.
care. I am
You've
tired.
never cared.
Tired. What is up with the helmet? Oh, maybe I turn it sideways. Nope, that still doesn't make sense.
Here's
That's
the deal.
what it looks like if you're watching it.
That's what it looks like when it's stretched out to 1920 by 1080. But the regular schedule,
Can we make it smaller?
when you do fit to screen, it looks like that. So looks like that. Covers up our sponsors' logos temporarily, but it looks like that.
Big shout out to Signs First, Franklin, Tennessee, as well as JG Creative. Hit 'em
Creative
up.
Enterprises.
Signs First, yeah, Enterprises. Signs First is also where we got our banners from.
Yep.
Dope banners.
Yep. Make sure to.
Great price too.
Oh yeah, it's great price for the banners
All
to
right,
get them in stadium.
See, you put it like that, Spence, and then you turn it. Well, you don't even have to see who's actually on there. You could just look at the helmet, and you should know who's playing.
Yeah, when you actually have the PDF in front of you with the helmet schedule, it looks a lot better than it does at the moment because this is a 1920 by 1080
No one
knows what I'm talking about exactly.
No,
basically have this helmet schedule in a PDF on your phone, and it'll look a lot better to where you can zoom in and do all that kind of stuff.
Or you could print it off.
You could, but save a tree.
Put it on your locker.
Save a tree.
Put it on your door.
Save a tree. Even though I've got a paper schedule in front of me, save a tree.
To quote
the Lorax,
a song that I love. Burn it down. If you got that reference.
If you got that reference, then you might be a father. Anyways.
Or a wrestling fan.
Follow along with your helmet schedule on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, top to bottom. I've been waiting a long time to say that. It feels good. So
as long as we make sure you feel good, Spence, that's what we're going for right there.
There are some days, ladies and gentlemen, where with James, I want to mute his mic right away.
But then he remembers that it's just us two, and he's like,
it's like I can't do this by myself. I could try to pull a Stephen A. Smith and try just talking through there. I'm ticked off. Do all of that throughout the show. Not many people would listen.
Ghost Rider. All right.
Helmet schedules top to bottom. So, as we said, Bowling Green Christian Academy and Franklin Classical School, we won't be broadcasting that game because they moved it from Friday to Saturday. We were really looking forward to seeing that matchup, but that will not be.
It is what it is.
But it's still going to be a good game. It's still going to be good at Franklin. Bowling Green travels down. James, it's time for the first time of the year. Predictions.
I made my predictions a couple weeks ago.
I'm talking about first time of the year for the public to know. So
no, we told the public a couple weeks ago.
You didn't tell. You told them your records, not individual games.
Oh, did I?
Wait, you're right. You went out with all the games.
Told them
I don't know why
games.
you told them all on the show though.
All right.
Should have just done overall
predictions. Here's a recap. Again, these predictions were made 12 days to the Jamboree. So if you're picking games the week of, and you think that you're special and great because you beat me because you pick it 3 days before it happens.
I think
Whatever makes you feel better about
I think
yourself.
everybody knows who you're talking about.
Okay. No, it's not just one person. Anyways.
So,
Okay.
Warriors
Bowling Green
and the
Christian,
Knights.
Franklin Classical. I got the Knights picking up the dub at home in revenge for last year.
Not a bad prediction.
But Gage Holman is going to make their life a living
Nightmare.
daycare. Well, daycare is a nightmare, so living daycare. All right. I can say that. I've got a 3-4-year-old.
You're supposed to do an oxymoron there with living nightmare, though, as James, I think, is about to take a kiddo break.
No, I don't need to take a kiddo break. I just need to turn it to Dino Trucks. You want to watch Dino Trucks? Yes? You want to pull the chairs all over the room? No.
Dino Trucks is not a sponsor of 8 Man Extreme.
Now, where's Netflix?
Where's Netflix as a sponsor? Netflix, call us.
Yeah, for real.
Next,
what's the next game?
Next game, rematch of the final game of the regular season for any team that spurned last second because both of them were having losing records. They weren't going to make the playoffs, so they wanted to just get one more game picked up. South Haven Christian School will travel down to Franklin on Saturday night to face off against the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons, and all the games are on Saturday night this year. For the week of August 9th. So South Haven and FCA, they don't have John Buchanan this year. What's your prediction?
In a replay of the Super Bowl 3 years ago. I think it's 3 years.
Super Bowl 50? You talking about Broncos?
No, it'd have been 51 2 years ago.
Oh, Falcons.
I've got the Patriots beating the Falcons.
In overtime?
The only time I'll pick the Patriots to beat the Falcons.
In overtime?
I think it could go to overtime. I hope we have.
We had 2 overtime games last year.
A ton of overtime games this year.
Was it just one overtime game last year? Yeah, and that was the first one in 10 years.
Been a long time.
Something like that. It's been a long time.
Been
Hopefully we have more overtime games. I hope so. And the final game of Saturday, because all the other teams are on bye weeks. Lighthouse, Sacred Heart Christian Community are on a bye week. Riverside, Ezell Harding, Swanee, and Tennessee School for the Deaf are all on bye weeks. Final game. We will be in Mount Juliet for the Lancaster Christian Academy Knights.
Where did you say the South Haven FCA game was going to be?
It's at FCA.
No, it's not. It's at South Haven.
Well, we got that wrong on the helmet schedule. Or did we?
No,
I said it wrong. It's up at South Haven because last year was at FCA. Anyway.
Anything wrong on the helmet schedule?
I looked, and I realized, wait a minute.
All right.
So South Haven hosting FCA.
All right.
Tennessee Heat, we're traveling up to Mount Juliet for the Heat versus the Lancaster Knights.
There you go again.
How many corrections are you going to make on air for me, man?
Chad Withrow, please help. It's not Mount Juliet. It's Mount Juliet.
Anyways, the Heat host the Knights of Lancaster in a rematch of the consolation game from last year, the now defunct consolation game. So, James, are the Knights taking this one under the helm of Deuce Bragg?
We asked what was in the backpack of Coach Ryan Scott. The backpack that never leaves his side. We heard some interesting answers, some interesting responses. Tape, mouth guards, camera, plays, whatever. I think it's the ghost of Lancaster Christian. Because Lancaster Christian is 2-0 against the Tennessee Heat. Now, granted, they got beat at Lancaster. They got beat at CCS's field in the consolation game. So if they've ever played at the Heat's field.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a whole new ball game. But I think that Coach Scott needs to take that backpack and toss it to the side and do everything he can to get geared up.
What's wrong with him having his backpack on while coaching?
But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Lancaster Christian goes into Mount Juliet and picks up their first win of the year.
And we're going to be excited to call that game.
I think it has the potential. I think all 3 games Saturday, though, have the potential, A, to go either way, or B, go into overtime.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
His kiddo is jumping around. He's having some fun.
All right.
He's having good fun. So those are the only 3 games this year for week 1 of the season. Week 2, it picks up. We'll get into those predictions next week and such, but It's looking like it's going to be a really good first week of football. And of course, we're still going to update scores on the Tennessee High School football app. It's going to be good. So we're going to update those in the Tennessee High School football app, and you'll be able to see all the scores there.
Go
The games that we're not at, yeah.
Go download the app.
All the games that we will not be at, there'll still be scores updated for that.
You should have the notifications turned on for it, as well as YouTube. You should get the bell on.
Make sure you do get the bell on, because you'll get notified anytime we go live for Extreme Radio and for our game broadcast. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be a really good game. Really good game this Saturday, and really
I'm
good
looking
two
forward
sets
to
of games. Yeah, you get back in the broadcast booth the first time since consolation game back in November
I'm ready
last
to get back
year.
in the saddle.
Yeah, ready to go. Helping out your kiddo a little bit.
No, of course you don't want to sit with your dad. Of course. Special.
Well, James, I think that's going to
Well, I got
wrap it
some-
up for the show.
Boy, he loved that Jets. I got some cleaning to do on this iPad.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good amount of cleaning to do. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for this week's show, James.
I think this iPad liked the Jets pizza as well.
All right, to the owner of Jets Pizza, Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville.
Holla!
You got some good natural sponsorship on today's show, man. You got a lot of good stuff that got handled. So it's going to be good.
There you go. It's good stuff.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Extreme Radio.
Look at that. Under an hour.
Exactly. Presented by GracePointe Healthcare. Go to GracePointeHealthcare.com. Request your appointment online. Mention you're with 8-Man Extreme. It's $20 off your new patient office visit fee. GracePointe Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way.
stuff.
It is. So is Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all of your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. James, you going to say James, I think we've said it enough on the show, but of course for one last time.
Say it enough?
But for one last time for our other sponsor.
Get Jets.
Jets Pizza of
Do not send me the bills for your eardrum doctor for your ear doctor visits.
Jets Pizza of Fort Campbell, Springfield, and Clarksville, also sponsoring the show. Regular season football is officially upon us with 6 days left until it kicks off. For James Shannon, I'm Spencer Tomset.
What about Eli Shannon?
And of
Eli
course,
Shannon in
Eli
studio.
Shannon.
Eli, you want to say hi? There he
Says
goes.
hi. Well, that'll wrap it up. The regular season is officially upon us. And for James' signature sign-off, so long. We'll see you for our broadcast on Saturday.
See